Welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it much. Welcome to the new subscribers, and thanks for your feedback as always. It's a beautiful day here in East Tennessee. It's June 12th, the afternoon, low 80s, lots of sunshine, and the lake is busy today. Lots of boats out, and folks taking advantage of the nice water conditions and the opportunity to catch some rays. I wanted to stop by and do a quick video to talk to you about a subject that is concerning. It's a little beyond preparedness, and it's more so with some conditions in the southeastern United States. In the last video I shared with you the fact that Russia had at least one, maybe two submarines and some aircraft down in the Caribbean, down around Cuba, and they're planning a military exercise with Cuba and possibly Venezuela. That's still up in the air. The thing that concerns me is, one, as I said yesterday in the last video, Russia has an operational communication center set up in Cuba that has been operational for a couple years, and that's kind of drifted into the clouds and no one talks about it. We could ask the question, how did Russia get submarines into that region? One could ask, has the submarine been floating up and down the Atlantic seaboard based on U.S. military activity from New York south to Florida the last few weeks? And we haven't heard a peep on that topic. So evidently it's not a concern to our current government or to the Pentagon. That's things that we would probably never know. The things that concerns me on this is, one, this kind of reversal of Ukraine, where NATO has basically surrounded some of the borders of Russia and is putting pressure and threatening for NATO to intervene in Ukraine. And in this picture, now the role is reversed, and now we have a small arcade of Russian vessels and air assets around our southeastern border. If in fact these submarines exist, and based on air activity from the United States, it is probably likely. And the weapons that these submarines carry, the big, large, powerful ones that start with an N, you'll have to figure that one out because of this platform. Could President Putin give the United States an ultimatum on Ukraine? Either back off, get out of Ukraine, let Russia deal with it, or else Russia threaten the United States being right in our backyard. Another thing that concerns me with this is President Putin is good friends with the newly elected lady who is the president of Mexico. What if there's an announcement that Cuba and Mexico has agreed to allow Russia to put that particular weapon inland with launch platforms in Mexico and in Cuba to begin with, if not even more countries? Now we have this weapon right at our back door. Another thing that concerns me on this topic is, according to the late Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, who many believed it stated he was the father of understanding the EMP. He stated that the United States has layered radar protection on our Atlantic and Pacific and northern borders. However, he stated there is no protection along our southern border. And he further stated that 2 times per 24 hours, every 12 hours, there is North Korean satellites that fly from south across the United States north, and that these satellites are loaded with weapons that are EMP capable. I believe there were 2 types of weapons aboard these satellites. So with that stated as being a threat coming across the southern border, and we now have Russia at our southern back door, things could escalate quickly, and we still hear crickets. Matter of fact, I haven't heard any news whatsoever regarding this possibility coming out of Washington, D.C. There was an arrest made in the last day or two. I was informed on early this morning. There was an arrest made in Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and New York of some say 6 and some say 8 suspected ISIS terrorists from Tajikistan in Central Asia, and they had been monitoring them for roughly a year, maybe a little more. Communications was intercepted, and they used the word that starts with a B and ends with a B with 2 letters in the middle. And I find it interesting that the director of the FBI just came out again in the last week or so and made the announcement that there were threats directing ISIS-K to start hitting identified targets around the world. So, and that would include the mainland. And then they come out and they make these arrests. Now, if legitimate, this is a good thing. That's what we want them to do. That's what they're paid to do, is to identify and eliminate threats to the homeland. And hats off to them. Time will tell. You know, as for whatever reason, you can identify your own reasoning, but a large portion of the American populace trust factor in things that the government's doing and their capabilities to do things to protect the homeland is either suspicious or suspect. That's for every individual to figure out on their own. You know, it's we're living in very interesting times right now, and if this threat in the southeastern Caribbean and along our Gulf area or in the southern Atlantic area, if these things start panning out and heating up, it's a whole different ballgame than things that we hear coming in as far as threats in the Middle East with Israel and threats in Ukraine. Okay. Air activity with military air flights is still far heavier than normal. Lots of assets are being moved around. Lots of intelligence balloons are up at high altitudes. gathering information from phones, texts, emails, phone calls from cell towers, and it was stated that the legal ability to arrest these individuals was due to clauses in the Patriot Act. So it's also interesting that the 6 or 8 individuals arrested are believed to all have crossed the border illegally. So we'll probably never know the truth on it. Just look at the facts as they're presented, and consider impacts, cause, impact to you, right? It's not our job to figure the things out as to how they got there and why. It's to determine if things escalate and go hot, how these different areas of threats could impact our way of life, okay? Or decisions made by our government to the citizens in the homeland, i.e. in the name of protecting the homeland, things that they may impose upon the people. So pay attention. Again, as I said on another platform, I would seriously consider keeping my daily life at a soft yellow threat level, and just keep your head on a swivel, right? Crime is up, crime is off the charts. You're probably more likely to be impacted by local crime than any of the threats I'm talking about, unless it goes hot. So just be smart, okay? It's not things as usual. It's not business as usual. You don't need to live in fear. You need to live your life. You just need to be smarter when you go about doing things. Know where you're at. Know the type people who are going to be around you if you go to venues. You got holidays coming up where they're going to have fireworks and gatherings of people. And you just need to be smart. If you go to a venue, make sure you know routes out, don't get pinned in by crowds, and have a way to egress out of where you're at and get to a safe place. Okay, always look around to have a place for cover and concealment if things would go bad, and you just got to be smart, okay? But most of all, don't live in fear, just be smart, okay? So hey, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, share it with others, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It'd be much appreciated. And we need to make sure we keep our nation and our elected officials in our prayers. Like them or not, we do need to pray for everyone and the people who are around us, and do our best to get through these coming weeks and months. So till next time, be blessed, and most of all, don't forget to give thanks. We are blessed people. Bravo Echo out.